Hi everyone, my name is Ian Stahl. I'm a student ambassador with McGraw-Hill Education and a senior at California State East Bay. Today I'll be taking you through an overview of McGraw-Hill Connect and SmartBook and how to use them to college smarter, not harder. Connect and SmartBook allow you to learn the way that works for you. This is done through adaptive learning, something I'll talk about in just a moment. No matter how you learn, Connect is going to help you improve your performance. I've received an A in every course I've taken with Connect, and I've seen improvement in my other courses because of the time that Connect and SmartBook have saved me. During our demo, I'll show you how to use SmartBook to study faster and easier through features like the built-in highlights of the most important text and the ability to create practice quizzes to customize your learning experience. One of my favorite things about Connect is that you can activate your access from the first day of class using a 2-week free courtesy access from McGraw-Hill. The sooner you activate, the better grade that you're going to get. So don't wait, activate. I mentioned adaptive learning before, and I want to explain what that means. Just like Pandora or Netflix learn the type of entertainment that you like, SmartBook learns from you and will identify the areas that you need to focus on the most. Now that we have an idea of how Connect and SmartBook work, let's jump in so we can see it firsthand. When you first log in to Connect, make sure that you do so through the directions that your instructor provides. Some instructors will have you log in, as I am right now, through McGraw-Hill's main website. Others may have you go through your school's learning management system, like Canvas or Blackboard. The course we'll be using today for our demo is a plant biology text that McGraw-Hill was kind enough to set up for us. Now, if your version of Connect looks different from the one that you see here, that's okay. Everything that I'm going to discuss and demo today will still be relevant. From the home screen, there are a few things that you can see. The first are your assignments here on the right-hand side. This is going to be anything that your instructor has asked for you to complete. From the menu section in the upper left-hand corner, you can access messages, notifications, some account settings, and some commonly asked questions in the help section. Your to-do section gives you assignments from across all your current Connect courses and their due dates. Your calendar section allows you to break down those assignments by day, week, and month, and also by class. Switching between classes is easy by simply clicking on this drop-down menu and selecting the class that you'd like to switch to. To view your grades, simply click on Results and select the class that you'd like to see. Here you're able to see not only your grade per attempt, but your overall average. Connect Insight is a very interesting tool to use as well. Within Insight, you'll be able to see not only how you've done over time, but also how much time you've invested and what that's done to affect your grades. By clicking on the How You're Doing section, you'll be able to clearly see that the more time that you invest, the greater that your grade will be. Again, this will help you to target exactly how much effort and time you need to invest in each one of your assignments and classes. Back on your home screen, there are a few more links that I'd like to point out. The first here is a loose leaf option that you can purchase in addition to the digital textbook that you get as part of Connect. This is a great option for you if you want to be able to have a physical copy of your textbook, and starts at about $25 per copy. Next is your link to SmartBook. We'll get in here in just a moment, but know that you can either access SmartBook from this link here or by clicking on any assignments that your professor assigned you in SmartBook. Jumping into an assignment is very easy. Simply click on the far right side or on the assignment itself and hit Continue. You will notice that some assignments have a set number of attempts. If you have unlimited attempts or even multiple attempts, please make sure that you take advantage of those, as this will enable you to get the best score possible. Once you're in an assignment, you'll be able to click through each question, saving any work that you've done as you progress. If you feel a bit lost at any point, the reference links at the bottom of each question are a great resource for you. By clicking on them, it will take you to the section of the text that is relevant for that question. If you need to pause or come back to your work later for any reason, simply hit Save and Exit, and it will save all of your work so that you can go back to it at a later time. If you've completed your assignment and are ready to submit, hit Submit and confirm that you're ready. This will submit your work for grade and will usually allow you to see your grade immediately. Getting into SmartBook is just as easy. By clicking on the link here, you'll not only be able to see your assigned work, but also be able to access self-study. Self-study gives you access to any chapters that have not been assigned throughout your entire textbook. Let's take a look at Chapter 1. When the chapter first loads, it will start on the very first page of that chapter. You can see where you are in the upper right-hand corner by page. To navigate between sections, you can use this panel here to skip between primary parts of the text. To move between pages, simply scroll up and down and you'll notice that the page number changes. As we're scrolling through, I want to highlight a couple of key things for you. The first thing is that there are embedded links within the Smart Text that take you to those individual sections. This can be very helpful when you want to skip to a different section of the text or make sure that you're aware of which figure the text is referring to. Similarly, definitions for key terms can be displayed by hovering over them. Throughout the text, you'll notice that there are highlighted areas that are meant to draw your attention to the most important parts of the text according to the subject matter experts that McGraw-Hill employs. Should you find these highlights distracting, you can turn them off using this icon here. I do recommend keeping them on though, as it makes it faster and easier to target the most useful parts of the text. The grayed out portions of the text are still relevant. However, if you're in a rush or maybe just wanting to review later on before a midterm or an exam, the highlights really do help make things easier and faster. You're also able to utilize your own highlights should you want to. In this red underline section, I've added a little note for myself to remind me that I can make notes here. To do so is very simple. Simply click and drag over the area that you'd like to, and you'll be given 3 separate options to either bookmark, make a note that you don't get it, or just make a general note. These are able to be matched up under Notes and Underlines from your Menu tab. You should notice that these same 3 icons that you can designate your underline from are present here and are sorted by each category. Lastly, you're able to adjust the size of your text if you feel you need to. The final icon down here on the lower right is your assistant. You can turn her on or off as you need to, or mute or unmute her as you feel you want to. What she is there to assist you with is to pace your reading and your practice questions or probes to get the most out of your studying sessions using SmartBook. She'll pop up from time to time as a reminder, as long as she's on, to help you jump between reading and testing your knowledge. This will not only allow you to make sure that you have absorbed the material in a way that you can remember it, but also test to make sure that you haven't missed anything. If you choose to keep her off, simply click on the icon on the lower right. The practice questions or probes are a key part of SmartBook and may be assigned work for some of your instructors. To access them, simply click on the lower left-hand corner where it says Practice. This will bring up a series of questions related to the subject that you're studying. In the lower center, you'll see how many of those questions you have left to answer for the particular chapter. Again, this may be part of your assigned work. Check with your instructor to be sure. At this point, you may have noticed the different colored buttons at the bottom of the question. What those enable you to do is rate how comfortable you feel with the answer that you're giving to each question. Doing this honestly will allow SmartBook to learn which areas you're struggling with and help you to learn those topics successfully. Let's do a quick example. Let's say that I believe the answer to this question is this right here, but I'm not 100% certain. I can say I'm unsure about that answer. Now, as it would turn out, I got that question wrong. That's okay, because wrong answers don't cost me any points here. The key point of these practice questions is to test your knowledge. Getting an answer wrong will simply put it back into the queue for you to look at a later time. Choosing how to rate your answer depends on how comfortable you feel. Generally speaking, if I feel 100% certain, I will click I know it. If I'm less than 100% but more than 75%, I'll usually click I think so. Anything below 75%, I'm probably going to click unsure, and if I literally have no idea, I'll click no idea. Use whichever format you feel is best, but again, be honest. SmartBook is going to use the information that you give it from these 4 options to help you learn as you progress through each chapter. If you wish to go back to reading for any reason at any time, simply click the read icon, which has replaced the practice icon from before, or the read about this button inside of the question itself. Doing so will actually take you to the section of the text that this question covers. You can also come back into the question and now answer it correctly. At this point, you might be wondering to yourself, where does all this information go? Where is SmartBook actually going to show me how to learn faster and easier? Well, by clicking into this side menu again and hitting Reports, you're able to view some very useful tools that can help you study smarter, not harder. There is a complete review of all of these reports on McGraw-Hill's YouTube channel, but I'll cover some of the highlights right now. The self-assessment is a great way to understand where you are with learning overall. You'll notice that the 4 sections are broken up into the same color pattern as the answer options from your practice questions. The first section shows the percentage where you were aware that you knew the answer. When you say, "I know it," and get that question correct, this percentage will increase. Next in blue, you'll see when you're aware that you didn't know the answer. While not knowing the answer might seem bad, being aware that you didn't know the answer helps you be able to target those areas and go back and learn them successfully. Being unaware that you knew the answer is essentially getting lucky and guessing. A low percentage here is desirable because it's better to know something than to get lucky and guess. Lastly, being unaware that you didn't know the answer is when you feel like you're confident, but you're actually incorrect. I know that when I've turned in work or taken an exam, sometimes I feel like I absolutely crushed it, but when my grade gets back, it tells a different story. Having a low percentage here will make sure that you are successful in any future assignments or exams. Missed questions breaks down any questions that you've missed by chapter and allows you to go back and answer them again, making sure that you know the correct answers now. Similarly, the most challenging learning objectives, or LOs, breaks it down by chapter and by topic to be able to help you go back and study the sections that you struggled with the most. You'll notice that there are 2 options to either go to the page number, or if by clicking on the statement, you'll jump into a question about that particular topic. If you choose to go back and click on the page number, it will take you to the section of the text that particular learning objective covered. I think the most powerful report in SmartBook is the practice quiz. This actually allows you to generate a quiz that is tailor-made for your particular learning needs. If you're struggling with a particular chapter, you can click into that chapter, see the number of available questions, and then change the number in your practice quiz to be whatever it is that you'd like. I don't recommend using all of the questions available simply because that can take a very long time. Instead, try to duplicate the assignments that you'll eventually be doing. Let's say you're going to have a midterm on the first 4 chapters of this text that'll be 100 questions long. If you know that you'll have an hour to complete that assignment, set a timer on your phone for an hour and hit start on your practice quiz. This will allow you to make sure that you can recall the information in a timely fashion and give you an idea of how you will ultimately perform. I actually suffer from a little bit of test anxiety, and I find that goes away if I do a practice quiz or 2 before actually taking my exam or midterm. Before we leave SmartBook and return back to our home screen, I do want to point out that under Settings, you are able to print out each chapter of the text as you need to. The Help section will actually take you back through the introduction that you had when you first signed into SmartBook. This can be helpful if you've forgotten key features or need a quick refresher. To leave SmartBook, simply click the icon in the lower left hand. This will take you back to your home screen. Okay, everyone, let's finish things off with some study tips and advice. Now, obviously, you want to do your homework before the deadline, but how do you make sure that happens? Well, I recommend finding a way to manage your time that works for you. Maybe you keep a calendar or a list of to-dos. I actually keep a 5-week calendar on my kitchen wall with all my personal, work, and school commitments, so I don't overbook myself on any given day. I also keep a list of assignments by week that they're due and check them off as I complete them. This usually helps me stay about a week to a week and a half ahead of any due dates. Another thing that is helpful is to jump into assignments and see how complicated they are. During our demo, you saw me go into assignments that I could save and come back to later. Doing this not only lets you see how complicated a task might be, but it also lets you complete part of the assignment at one time and maybe break it up into shorter periods if you don't have the time to sit down and do the assignment all at once. Whether an instructor assigns SmartBook or Learn Smart, know that they are available to you as study tools. This includes the reports that I talked about and the ability to recharge before a midterm or exam. When you're using SmartBook, take advantage of those highlighted text sections to be able to focus on the most important content. This is very helpful when studying for tests. One great way to have access to your text whenever you want is to use the Read Anywhere app. It allows you to download any part of your ebook to an Android or iOS device. I love this app because I don't have to rely on a data connection to have access to my text, and since my phone is always with me, I don't have to carry around my textbook when I want to study. It also allows me to find those short, brief moments and take advantage of them, cutting down on my lengthy study time. If you do want a physical copy of the text, loose leaf options are available and can be ordered through your Connect course page, as I pointed out before. Again, these start at about $25, so if you feel like that's something you want, maybe just to hang on to the text for future use, you can do so for a relatively small fee. Now, talking about tech support, I'll put the information up on the screen now. Your instructor can help you with questions about your course material, but for issues with Connect itself, you need to reach out to McGraw-Hill Tech Support. They are super helpful, and as I mentioned, I had to use them when I first signed up for Connect. You can chat on the phone, use a browser-based chat feature, or exchange emails to get the help you need. They can also supply you with a case number so your instructor knows that you're getting the issue addressed. I do also want to point out the two other websites here, connectstudentsuccess.com and mhhe.com/collegesmarter. These two sites are great for new or experienced students and have tons of great tips for school life, college survival tips, and even some advice for life after college. I love the Hill hacks on the College Smarter site as they cover all aspects of student life. Make sure you check those out. As I've mentioned, McGraw-Hill has a very active presence on social media. If you want to know more about anything we've talked about, check out their YouTube for some of the dedicated explanations for things like the SmartBook reports or the Read Anywhere app. There's also advice from other student ambassadors like me. Occasionally, one of our student ambassadors will take over one of the social media accounts that McGraw-Hill has, so make sure you subscribe to McGraw-Hill's Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram so you don't miss those. Thanks for joining me today, everyone. Now you're ready to college smarter, not hotter. Take care.